Hello and welcome to this video. I wanted to share some tips about Cuba that weren't shared in other videos that I watched before I came here. And I'm in Trinidad. It's February 2024 and it's about 6:40 a.m. so I'm up here early just to watch the sunrise and stuff like that. But um, first off, we started in Varadero and we stayed 3 days there. And one thing I was surprised about, um, we stayed in a Casa Particular on the beach, and we were like 2 blocks from kind of the center of town, and the live bands play every night, and it was loud and you could hear it in your house. They don't have really big windows. They basically have some metal shutters there, so there's no glass even on our place, but we could hear those guys and they would play till like 3 a.m. And so if you're a light sleeper, it's hard to sleep if you're that close to loud music all night long. So I don't know what to really tell you. There's bars all over that place and they all have live, I mean, seriously, every fifth building has a band playing live music, you know, most of them till late in the evening, and they're electrified and they got noise, and it's just tough to sleep there. So really, when in Rome, probably just go out to the club till 2 or 3 a.m. because you're not gonna be able to sleep anyway. And on the flip side, the town is real sleepy. Like, you can't even find a place open for breakfast till 10 a.m. So everybody sleeps in. A lot of places don't even open till noon for serving food. So that was kind of interesting. The other part, we found it really difficult to find bottled water. So just how the system works here, I mean, we stayed in a Casa Particular, so they didn't sell water, but there are stores. But we went to several of them, and they all happened to be out of water. Now, was it just poor timing, bad luck, whatever? Are they gonna have water when you go there? Um, so we went to a resort, and they had a little gift shop. They were, a couple blocks away, and we found in the gift shop they sold water. So it's a small bottle of water. It was $1 US. That's not bad. But what we were doing before we found that was, you can go to any restaurant, they always had water, but they're selling the water for like the same bottle for like $2 a bottle. Now, granted, you're on vacation, that's not bad, but you can't buy a case of water anywhere that I've seen anywhere. And they don't have like normal stores like a 7-Eleven or mini marts anywhere, but they have plenty of restaurants, so you can buy water from restaurants. But that was always kind of a struggle every day. We'd try to buy, go to a restaurant, buy 4 bottles of water, take them with us. But the water is kind of expensive, hard to find now. In Trinidad, we haven't had that experience. There's water everywhere. Our Casa Particular has these 1.5 milliliter waters that he'll sell to us for $2 a bottle. That's like 3 of those 500 milliliter ones. So I don't know. We're going to Havana next. I'll add another segment to this. I don't know if you have a problem finding water there or not, but water in Varadero was difficult. One other thing related to water, you Google on the internet, should you drink drinks with ice in them if it's in a place that you can't drink the water? And I went 2 days without, just drinking bottled water. I was afraid to drink something, although my wife was drinking wine, and you could obviously drink beer if you wanted to. I was wanting to try, the Cuban drinks, the mojitos, the Cuba Libres, all those kind of drinks. But I finally decided to try one on like the 3rd day, and I hadn't had any problems. I've been drinking, those type of drinks with ice in them since then and haven't had any issue. But I guess kind of the rule of thumb is if you're in a touristy area and you go to nice restaurants, or if you go to an all-inclusive resort, they're probably gonna have filtered water they use to make their ice. If you go to some street vendor, and they actually have these around, they got little push carts, and the guys will, it says world's best pina colada, and you can get a pina colada from them, and obviously that has a bunch of crushed ice in it. I don't trust that ice. So depends on where you go. If you go to some kind of local place or hole in the wall place, I probably wouldn't get the ice. But anyway, in the nice restaurants, places we went, we haven't had a problem yet. And then as far as Trinidad goes, you can probably hear in the background right now, roosters start about 4:30 a.m. and go to about 9 a.m. It's kind of crazy. I haven't had the live music problem here. There's definitely live venues right over there, right on their side of the church. There's a Casa de Musica, and they have loud music, but I guess we're far enough away. And also this colonial mansion place we're staying in. I mean, it's got walls this thick with, solid stone. And I mean, they don't have glass windows either, but they've got wood shutters here. But I haven't heard any music, so I'm far enough away, and maybe the house is built like a tank and the noise doesn't come in, but the roosters will get you. The other thing is kind of interesting, and we're actually having this right now. There's a power outage right now, so normally there would be actually lights. It's kind of dim. It's still early morning, sun hasn't come up yet, but there'd be lights on the tower, there'd be lights on the church, there'd be lights on that tower over there. And I got up here at 6 o'clock and they were on, and about 6:15 it was still totally dark. The lights just went off, and I noticed there were no street lights or anything. Basically, there was another power outage. So we've only been here 2 days, and this is the third power outage, and they tend to last 2 to 3 hours. Now, during the day, during the morning, it's not that big a deal. Most restaurants are outdoors. You would have plenty of light. We had one last night that hit about 11 a.m. and we have air conditioning in our room, but air conditioning doesn't work when there's no electricity, so it can be annoying. We didn't have any power issues in Varadero. We had power the whole time, so that wasn't a problem there. And the only other thing about Trinidad that I found kind of annoying, and we did not have this problem in Varadero. I mean, there are poor people here. There's poor people all over Cuba, but here there seems to be a lot more beggars, and it's not crazy, but we've been hit up 10, 15 times just walking around by people. Oh, can you give me some money? I need to feed my kids and this and that. And at first I actually gave to a couple, and it seemed to just attract more people. So I don't know. You can be charitable if you want. I only give them like $1 US. It's not like I'm giving them a lot, but word seems to spread that you're kind of generous, and everyone comes and hits you up after that point. So give if you want, or anyway, be prepared for the consequences. And now I'm just telling people, no, I give them kind of a stern no, because I'm just tired of people hitting me up. But we didn't have any problems like that in Varadero at all. We just smooth sailing through there. Okay, we made it to Havana, and as you can see, it's 7:30 in the morning. It's a little cloudy today, but it's a beautiful place. It's got a ton of old buildings, all that kind of stuff. The water, we didn't have any problem with the water. Our Casa Particular had bottles to sell, the small ones for $1, the big ones for $2, so no problem with that. There's a lot of stores that have water bottles on their front window. Again, you can always get it from restaurants, things like that. The other thing, basically we're in the old Vieja Havana, and if you want to go see the forts on the other side of the bay, you have to take a taxi. They have a tunnel that goes under the bay, and there's no sidewalk at all. It's only for cars, so you'll have to get one. We actually took a classic car there, and it only cost us $10. Now we're pretty close to the tunnel, so maybe depending on where you stay, it might cost a little more, and it basically costs $10 back. I think that's reasonable. I don't know if one of those Coco taxis would have been less or not. The other thing, just to update you on money here, it seems like the restaurants here, now we haven't gone to a really high-end restaurant, but the ones we've been going to, it's about $20 an entree, things like that. And they're converting our US dollars to peso at 250 pesos a dollar, so it doesn't save us any money to use pesos over dollars so far. We basically haven't found anything like that here, so that was only in Varadero, which is interesting. The other thing, my wife got one of the Cuban cell SIM cards so she could use her cell phone here, but the interesting thing, it hasn't been real great. Like, obviously you get a new phone number, so you're not gonna be calling people or anything like that. We have an iPhone, and the iMessages doesn't work. It's weird. When we get back to our Casa Particular, we actually have Wi-Fi here. Then her text messages work on Wi-Fi, but they don't work on the cell phone thing. And a lot of websites that you would think would work, just even apps, I guess they have to connect to the servers in USA, and they basically say they can't connect. Like, my wife just went on Amazon to check something, and Amazon, I guess, is blocked here, and I don't know where the blocking happens, but I really think it's the US, since they're not going to ship anything here the US has the financial embargo, and I bet you they're blocking stuff. So even things you wouldn't think, like my work website, I can't get to it. I mean, just things you wouldn't think of just don't work here. So the one thing that does consistently work for the Google Maps works fine with the Cuban cell phone SIM card, and WhatsApp works fine everywhere with a SIM card. So anyway, just interesting. You think you're gonna get a SIM card and everything's gonna work on your phone, but only some things do. So just know that. And just so you'll know, we got a data-only SIM card. It was the cheapest one they'd sell us, but $20 for 10 gigabytes of data. And we haven't even used 1 gigabyte in 8 days so far. So, but that's the lowest we'll sell. So whatever, you gotta take what you got. What else here? I mean, it is loud. I mean, it's only 7:30 a.m. and you can hear all this construction in the background. They got stuff going crazy here. However, these old buildings, our lobby is on the street, but our room is inside. We haven't heard anything, so anyway, that's a good thing. So hopefully you'll have some similar situation. It's a lot more crowded here. I mean, not as crowded as New York, but pretty crowded. I mean, a lot of tourists, a lot of locals, and it is interesting. You're walking through and there's definitely streets are like touristy, and you'll get one block off and it's kind of like the barrio. Now we haven't felt unsafe or anything, but there'll be some houses that are a little run down. I mean, and they're not really houses. They're all like 3-story tall, 200-year-old things that used to be people's houses, and now they fit, 5 families in there or whatever. But anyway, some streets look a lot rougher than others, but the closer you are to the water, the more touristy is. The farther back you get, like there's a Floridita restaurant that Hemingway used to eat at, or bar that he used to drink at and stuff, and it's a lot farther that way, and there's definitely some barrio streets over there that look pretty rough, but again, we haven't had any problem. But I'm gonna wrap up. We're basically leaving tomorrow, so this will be our last day in Havana, and I do recommend it. I mean, the place is beautiful. It's got a ton of old architecture. It's got great food. I guess one other thing on food, we did go to it didn't even seem that fancy of a restaurant, but it's definitely a tourist restaurant. The food is a lot more expensive here. Like they had lobster, $90 for a grilled lobster, and in comparison, Varadero was about $30 for a grilled lobster, and in Trinidad it was about $24 to $20 for a grilled lobster. And so, we just asked to see the menu before we went into the place. So there's definitely some places that are very pricey. We've been going to the places that I guess are lower end for tourists, so you can definitely find those too. But even at the place, we've just been having like ropa vieja or chicken or things like that, and that's why it's in the $20 range. But even at those places, I haven't seen like lobster under $50. So the food is more expensive in Havana, so that's a good thing to know also. But like I said, we're wrapping up our vacation, had a great time, and that is all. If you liked the video, please subscribe and like it, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm not an expert on Cuba, but I might be able to help you out. All right, bye.